Is your wife still intimate with herself? It's a shocking question. One most men never ask out loud, and one most women would never answer. But in the quiet corners of millions of homes, a 68-year-old man named John lies awake at 2 a.m. staring at the ceiling. Next to him, his wife of 45 years, Linda, is asleep. But there's a distance between them wider than the few inches of mattress. The physical intimacy they once shared has faded into a polite, silent memory. He feels confused, a little rejected, and deeply lonely. He wonders, is it me? Is it over? In this video, I'm going to pull back the curtain on one of the most misunderstood secrets of aging. I'll explain with science and compassion why this happens, what no one dares to say out loud, and most importantly, how you can begin to rebuild a profound closeness again, perhaps even deeper than before. I'm Sophia Lane. For over 2 decades, my life's work has been studying what really happens to us after 50. Physically, emotionally, financially, and inside our most important relationships. My mission is simple: to help men understand women, to help women feel normal and seen, and to help couples reconnect using facts, not fiction. And I want to know where you're watching from, because this is a global conversation. Comment your city below. I truly read every single one, because what we're talking about today isn't just about sex. It's about dignity. It's about not feeling invisible in your own home. It's about ending your days feeling cherished, not just tolerated. And if you take the lessons of this video to heart, you won't just learn a few tips. You may rediscover a soul-deep connection you thought was gone forever. Before we get to the solutions, there's a big myth I must bust. It's the most dangerous myth of all because it poisons relationships from the inside out. The myth is this: if a woman's desire for partnered sex wanes, it means her desire for all pleasure is gone. Or, even worse for a man's ego, if she does find pleasure on her own, it must be a direct rejection of him. Both of these are fundamentally untrue. We have to start by separating two different things: a woman's libido and her desire for a specific type of encounter. They are not the same, especially after menopause. To understand this, we need to talk about biology. This isn't about feelings, it's about chemistry and plumbing. For women, menopause isn't an event. It's a complete renovation of their hormonal house. The primary hormone, estrogen, which once flowed freely, dramatically decreases. Think of estrogen as the body's master hydrator and plumper. It kept tissues in the vaginal area thick, elastic, and well supplied with blood. Blood flow is the engine of arousal. Without that rich blood flow, nerve endings become less sensitive. The tissues themselves can become thinner, drier, and more delicate, a condition called vaginal atrophy. Now, imagine a lush green garden you've tended for years. Suddenly, you cut the water supply by 80%. The soil dries out, the flowers wilt, and the ground becomes hard. You wouldn't blame the garden, would you? You'd understand it needs a different kind of care. It needs water brought to it differently. That is what is happening inside her body. An act that was once easy and pleasurable can now be uncomfortable or even painful. Her body's automatic yes has been replaced with a hesitant maybe, if. And this isn't just physical. The drop in hormones also rewires the brain. The spontaneous hunter-like desire driven by testosterone, which men are more familiar with, often diminishes for women. It's replaced by a responsive desire. This is a critical distinction. Spontaneous desire says, I want it now. Responsive desire says, I might want it if the conditions are perfect. Those conditions are no longer just about physical attraction. They are about emotional safety, a lack of stress, a feeling of being cherished, and above all, a guarantee of comfort. The mental checklist before intimacy gets longer. Am I tired? Do I feel connected to him today? Will it be comfortable? Will he be patient? Any single no on that checklist can shut the whole system down. It's not a conscious decision to reject him. It's an unconscious system of self-protection. Now, let's turn to the men for a moment. Guys, let's be honest. When the woman you love turns away from you in bed or says, not tonight, for the 10th time, it feels like a punch to the gut. It hits at the very core of our masculine identity. We translate I'm not in the mood to I don't want you. We translate her fatigue into a judgment on our attractiveness. We see her physical changes, but we interpret them through the lens of our own ego. This is where the quiet resentment begins to build. You might think, I'm still the same man. Why isn't she the same woman? The truth is, neither of you are the same, and that is not a tragedy. It's an invitation to learn a new dance. The most damaging thing a man can do in this situation is to either pressure her or withdraw completely. Pressure confirms her fears that her comfort doesn't matter. Withdrawing confirms her fears that she is no longer desirable, creating a vicious cycle of loneliness for both of you. And here is the quiet truth that this video is centered on. Many women, in the privacy of their own space, do continue to seek pleasure through self-stimulation. And guys, if this made you rethink things, I want you to comment, understand. Because this next part is vital. Her private act of self-care is almost never about you. In fact, it's the opposite. It is about her trying to stay connected to a part of herself she feels is fading. It's a way to feel alive, to remember her own body, to find comfort and release without the pressure of performance or the potential for discomfort with a partner. It's a low-stakes way to check if the engine is still working. For her, it's a quiet, personal act of remembering who she was and is. It's not a replacement for you. It is an attempt at restoring herself. Understanding this single fact can be the key that unlocks your empathy and dissolves your resentment. It shifts your perspective from "she's rejecting me" to "she's struggling and needs a different kind of connection." And ladies, let's talk directly to you. If you are one of these women, you are carrying a silent burden of shame or confusion. You might love your husband deeply, but your body just won't cooperate the way it used to. You feel guilty for saying no. You feel like a disappointment. And if you do find comfort on your own, you might feel a wave of guilt, as if you're betraying him. You might think, am I abnormal? Am I a bad wife? Let me speak to you from my heart, backed by 2 decades of research. You are normal. You are healthy. What you are experiencing is the shared, unspoken reality for tens of millions of women. Your body is not broken, it's just changed. And your desire for comfort, for pleasure, and for dignity has no expiration date. If this message has given you even a small sense of relief, please type "relief" in the comments. You will see you are not alone, and you will help other women feel less alone too. Your story matters. So, we have a man who feels rejected and a woman who feels broken. How do we bridge this canyon of misunderstanding? It's not with a magic pill. It's with a new playbook, a playbook based on 3 fundamental keys: knowledge, comfort, and communication. In 60 seconds, I'll share the easiest first step to rebuild desire, and it starts with the first key. The first key is knowledge, specifically, knowledge of her changed anatomy. The center of female pleasure, from age 18 to 88, remains the clitoris. This incredible part of the body contains over 8,000 nerve endings. And unlike other parts of the body, its sole purpose is pleasure. However, the way it needs to be stimulated changes dramatically with age. After menopause, the protective hood of tissue can recede, and the area can become exquisitely sensitive, almost raw. The direct, firm pressure that might have worked in your 30s can now be overwhelming or even painful. The number one mistake couples make is trying to use the old map on a new territory. It simply won't work. The new rule is this: gentle, indirect, and patient. Think of it like tuning a very fine, delicate instrument, not starting a lawnmower. So, what does this look like in practice? It begins with a different kind of touch, long before you get near her most sensitive spots. It's about holding her hand while you watch television. It's about a long, warm hug when you get home. It's about gently rubbing her shoulders for a minute without any expectation of it leading anywhere else. This type of non-demanding touch rebuilds a foundation of safety. It tells her body, this man is a source of comfort, not just a source of demand. When it comes to more intimate touch, the new approach is to use a lubricant. We will talk more about that in a moment, but the touch itself should start peripherally, on her inner thighs, on her lower abdomen. The goal is to bring warmth and blood flow to the entire region, not just one spot. When you do approach her clitoris, the touch should be with the pad of your finger, not the tip, and it should be light as a feather. Imagine you are trying to feel the texture of a silk scarf. That is the level of pressure required. Start with slow, lazy circles around the area, not directly on it. Watch her body language. Listen to her breathing. Her body will tell you everything you need to know if you are willing to pay attention. This slow, patient, knowledgeable approach tells her something profound. I see you. I honor your body as it is today. Your pleasure and comfort are my priority. That message is more powerful than any technique. The second key is comfort. And this is the non-negotiable part. The single greatest physical barrier to intimacy after 60 for women is dryness. It's that simple. And the solution is equally simple. Use a high-quality lubricant. Yet, for some reason, this is a huge psychological hurdle for many couples. A man might feel like his ability to arouse her is being judged. A woman might feel like her body is failing. We need to completely reframe this. Using lubricant isn't a sign of failure. It's a sign of intelligence. It's a tool for better living. You wear reading glasses to see clearly. You might use a hearing aid to hear better. You use lubricant to feel good. It is a health and wellness product, not a crutch. There are different types, and it's worth knowing the basics. Water-based lubricants are the most common, easy to clean up, and safe with most products. Silicone-based lubricants last longer and are much slicker, which can be wonderful for massage and external stimulation, but can be a bit messier. Oil-based lubricants should generally be avoided for intercourse as they can degrade condoms and are harder to clean. My suggestion? Buy a good quality water-based and a silicone-based lubricant. Put them on the nightstand and make them a normal, unembarrassing part of your routine. Introduce it not as a solution to a problem, but as an enhancement for pleasure. A man can say something like, "Honey, I bought this for us. I read it can make everything feel even better and more comfortable. Can we try it?" This frames it as a team effort, an act of care, not a medical intervention. Making comfort the absolute priority removes her biggest fear, which in turn allows her mind to relax. And when her mind relaxes, her body is free to respond. It's that simple. Now, before we get to our final and most important key, I want you to remember that this is a journey, not a destination. There will be good days and not so good days. The goal isn't to replicate the sex life you had at 35. The goal is to create a new kind of intimacy, wiser, more patient, and more deeply connected, that fits the people you are today. The third and final key is communication. This is the foundation upon which everything else is built. You can have all the knowledge and all the comfort tools in the world, but if you can't talk about them, you're still just two lonely people lying in the dark. The silence is what kills intimacy. The assumptions are what build the walls. We have to learn to use our words, even when it feels awkward. For men, this means learning to ask different questions. The old performance-based questions like, "Did you like that?" or "Did you finish?" are loaded with pressure. They force a woman to either lie to protect your feelings or tell the truth and risk hurting you. It's a lose-lose situation. The new questions are based on curiosity and collaboration. Try these instead. How does this feel on a scale of 1 to 10? Can you guide my hand? Show me exactly what you like. Is there something you've been wanting to try or something you miss? These questions don't demand a result. They invite a conversation. They turn you from a performer into a partner. This vulnerability is not weakness. It is the ultimate strength. It tells her, "I am willing to be a student of your body. Teach me." There is no greater aphrodisiac for a woman than feeling truly heard and respected. For women, communication means finding the courage to be honest. For decades, you may have been conditioned to prioritize your partner's pleasure above your own. It's time to unlearn that. Your comfort matters. Your pleasure matters. It's not selfish to speak up. It's essential for the health of your relationship. But it can be scary. So, start small. If talking during the act feels too intimidating, try talking at a different time, in a neutral setting, over a cup of coffee in the morning or while on a walk. You could say something like, "Honey, can we talk about us for a minute? I love you so much, and I love being close to you. Lately, my body has been feeling different, and some things that used to feel good are a bit uncomfortable now. I was wondering if we could explore some new ways to be close." This is a gentle, loving opening. It's not an accusation. It's an invitation. You can also use nonverbal cues. Agree on a system. For example, if you like what I'm doing, squeeze my hand. If it's uncomfortable, just gently move my hand away. This gives you a voice without having to say a single word in the moment. Communication builds a bridge of trust across that silent canyon, and it allows both of you to walk across it together. So, let's bring it all home. We've talked about the science of her changing body, the man's feelings of rejection, the woman's feelings of being broken, and the 3 keys to rebuilding closeness: knowledge of her new anatomy, an unwavering commitment to comfort, and brave, honest communication. It's not about complicated positions or marathon sessions. It's about slowing down. It's about paying attention. It's about replacing performance with presence. It's about understanding that a 20-minute session of gentle, connected touch that leads to her feeling safe and cherished is infinitely more intimate than a frustrating attempt at intercourse that leaves you both feeling lonely. The beauty of this stage of life is that you have the gift of time and history. You have a shared story. This isn't a new beginning. It's a new chapter. A chapter where intimacy is defined not by a single act, but by 1,000 small moments of connection. It's in the way you look at her across the dinner table. It's in the safety of your touch. It's in the courage of your conversations. This is your chance to love each other with a wisdom and patience that your younger selves could never have managed. To build a final chapter that is rich with tenderness, laughter, and a profound, quiet understanding. You've earned it. I want you to leave a comment below. Tell me your age and what single tip or idea from this video felt most useful to you today. Your story helps everyone else who reads it. If you are a man over 60, or you love a man who is, and you believe in having these honest, taboo-free conversations, please subscribe to this channel. We are building a community of people who are choosing to age with courage and connection. And finally, if this video surprised you or made you think, do me a favor. Send it to one friend your age. Chances are, he's lying awake at night asking the same questions. And he probably needs to hear this too. And don't leave just yet. This conversation is just the beginning. My next video, which is right here on the screen, is about menopause and desire, the 3 biggest mistakes most couples make. It's the perfect follow-up to what we discussed today. Click now, and let's keep the conversation going. Thank you for your time and your trust. Be good to yourselves, and be good to each other.